a lot of times in your meditation, you'll start moving like this. That's your band spinning. You know, when you get your bands really spinning, you go out. You know, if you go, so I'm trying to remember which way it was. I think it's, I don't know. It just happens naturally with me. I don't want to say it because I'll probably get it wrong. Okay, here's Pam took this picture. Here I'm standing in the field, out there in the field of dreams. The next picture she took was this, just pure energy. And all you see is energy. And then guess what? An orb. This is what you are when you get past your need for form. This is your higher aspect of self. You don't need form anymore. I'm going to go back. Here's another woman disappearing. You can see right through her. And you can see her other body stepping in front of her. And I'm going to lead up to something with all this. This is, I think it's Amika. I always forget get her name wrong. But you can see her teaching a meditation class here. And here she's vanishing. She's disappearing. There's always this golden light that seems to be associated with that. Here's Tom, one of our helpers here. You can see him phasing out. Here's Nate. Notice the chair, you can see right through his leg. And you can see the chair right through his... Nate doesn't know I have these pictures, so he's squirming over here right now. We're going to make him squirm a little more. Here he is again. You can see the chairs through him. Here he is meditating. I saw Jesus. And here's that golden light again coming in. So I like to make everybody else famous here. See, when I make everybody else famous, they leave me alone, you know. So I shift the energy out to everybody else. And if you start following me, I'll have to do something really stupid or rude to get you to go away. So don't make me do that. But here's another one. Just now, what's happening here? Why are they phasing in and out? Why are there orbs all around him? You know what's going on here? I mean, these guys look really pious, don't they? I mean, they should be on their knees with a Bible, you know, in their pew. You can't talk to God this way. That doesn't work. But anyway, here we go again. But you can see, you know, you start phasing out. Now look at the energy around Jana's hands. See this wonderful pink energy coming off the hands, and it's coming off his leg there? You know, that's part of the process. That's a beautiful energy. It's that divine love, feminine energy, and very nurturing energy. And she does a lot of our gardening here. She works very close with the nature spirits and everything. So you think about it, what happens when you take that energy and you put it on a seed or put it with the plants and then you eat those plants? What happens? You know, your body changes frequency. Here's this is another one of our ECETI angels here, phasing out. There, she's starting to phase out. She didn't put her seatbelt on there, she's taking off. This happens in the classes. This is not uncommon here. It happens a lot of times. Here's Lillian, you can see right through her. You know, you can see the wall, everything right through her. She's playing her singing bowls. Now I'm going to go real short on this. This is the light spectrum. We're here in the physical level. This is Hertzian. Infrared, we can sometimes see a little bit of the infrared if we've done our homework and done our meditations. But the visible light is all we can see. This little tiny band is all we can see. But look at all these other bands in the electromagnetic spectrum. And those are actually worlds, and they're right alongside of us. And their worlds are just as real to them as this world is to us. Because, you know, the only reason I can touch this computer or touch this table is because my body's vibrating at the same rate as this table. That doesn't do a lot for your ego, you know. Jesus, this table here is not on the same frequency, you know. It's like, I gotta do my homework. So anyway, that's the reason why. Well, if they're on a higher frequency, their world is going to be physical to them. But it's non-physical to us, because they're on a higher frequency. And the higher frequencies can look down through the lower frequencies. Okay, this is a nice one here. This is actually people that don't believe in unseen negative influence or discarnate spirits. Here's a ghost actually appearing and affecting this woman. And she came to me for a clearing, and I told her there was a young man died of a drug overdose and hooked in her energies. And she was feeling very morbid, very confused drug energy around her, and she's very ill, very sick. We cleared him off, and she got well instantly. It was like, and her husband goes, I don't believe in any of that stuff. That was power suggestion. Well, he gets his camera back, and he gets this photograph of this being actually over her. And you can see her past life's also being affected. You can see overlays, different faces on her, everything. It's all interchanging. And so basically he still didn't believe it, even if he saw the photograph, and he went to the police department. He said, did anybody die in this building here? It's the old Santa Cruz Hotel in Santa Cruz, California. And they said, yeah, a young man just died there of a drug overdose. You know, and then he showed him the picture, and they said, that's him. You know, so there's your hard evidence, you know, there's your physical evidence. Now, also too, you know, with me, I'm a show-me person. I want hard evidence. And when I first started doing this stuff, I mean, I was experiencing masters and beings coming to me, and all of them were spooks, you know. Because I had a programming, you know, Jesus was the dude, you know. You talk to Jesus, nobody else, they're all, could be anybody, you know. And so I had to overcome that programming. And what was interesting is that as I was going through this process, I had a real test. I had a very, very powerful, dark, like a sorcerer type energy hit me, and it almost took me over. And it took me all night to get on top of this thing. And I was just claiming who I am and calling in the higher beings and everything. And then finally I got on top of it, and I went down to the beach. And I was meditating on the beach. I actually walked into the cold water, the salt water, and it was a beach in Santa Cruz, and there was nothing on this beach. No rocks, nothing, just sand. And so basically I sat down there and I was having a talk. And actually Yeshua ben Joseph, some people call him Jesus, which is, you know, Jesus is actually son of Zeus. Do you know that? That's where they got that. But Jesus is son of Zeus. But anyway, so I was having a talk with him, and I said, you know, this is nuts. This is crazy. You know, I'm not doing this anymore. I said, where the hell were you guys? You know, I said, I thought I had protection. You know, this guy kicked my butt. You know. Like, where were you guys? I said, I was calling on everything. So I hear this voice that goes, you did well. You know? And I go, what? I go, what do you mean I did well? I go, where? You know, and finally he said, you know, you needed to have that experience. And he said, you needed to do your own battle, and you needed the experience, because now you know this is real. And you know how powerful this is, and you're going to have to learn to deal with this, and learn how to move these energies and heal unseen negative influences. And so I'm still sitting there and I go, okay, yeah, right. And so finally I said, you know, if I'm going to go forward in this, I want solid proof. I want solid proof that this is real and I'm not losing my mind, you know. And so I come out of the meditation after having a conversation on the beach, and I look right, sitting right in my lap, almost right in front of me, is this. Solid proof. You know, a perfect heart-shaped stone. And I look both sides, up and down the beach. Nothing. Not a shell, nothing there. This thing is laying perfect heart right in front of me. You know, and, you know, how do you argue with that? So still, you know, my little monkey mind's going, and I come into the house. Tom Dong was living with me at the time. I go, hey, check this stone out. And he goes, oh yeah, Jesus manifests that for you. You know, you needed solid proof. And I guess I have to keep going, you know, I have to keep going with this. So anyway, that was just some of the journey, but it was pretty funny. But I've never lost that. I've kept that stone. Now, if I lose this stone, what happens? Do I lose my Christ connection? No. What if I lose my crystal? What about my medicine bag? Okay, maybe the medicine bag. But no, I mean, it's all within. It's all within. The other things are touchstones. They're tools to help guide you to create a reality. And you know, the ceremonies, everything. They're cool. Ceremonies are cool, But what happens when you leave the ceremony? You know? Who had that experience? Who generated that experience? You did. You know, where did it come from? It came from within. If it wasn't within, you couldn't have experienced it without. So the most important message I want to leave with everybody when you leave this place is that although there's this wonderful energy here, you wouldn't have been able to experience it if it wasn't here, if it wasn't within each and every one of you. So you're all guided here. Why? To remember who you are. That's it. You know, nothing else, basically. Everything here is just, and also to bring that higher conscious energy and share together, you know, and help turn this planet around, hopefully. But now here's another picture of this going on. Here's a being. Now, if you saw a being wearing robes with a little orb on his shoulder, let me go back again, you know, wearing robes with a big head, you know, that looks totally different than any. Can you all see that? Can you see this? On the left up here, see the little ball? On the left top corner, there's a being there with robes, and he's got a head, a really different looking head, and he's stepping out of the plasma fields, out of another dimension. These beings are very, very ancient beings. They're very wise. They don't look like us, and most people, if you saw them, you'd run. You go, holy crap, I'm out of here, you know? But if you stick around and master your fear, they can share things with you. And they can teach you some amazing things. And they're very amazing beings, but they don't look like us. You know, they're coming from a higher dimension. Now this is one of the Palladian ships. Here's one of their ships stepping down. They're non-physical. It's a light ship stepping down into our frequency. And here it is stepping down. And their ships are actually organic. They're alive. They're not. You know, I want to make it clear too, when you say Pleiadians, you know, it's better not to say where you're from, but when are you from? Because there's Pleiadians coming in from the distant past. There's Pleiadians coming in, like I'll show you, Blajee. She's coming in 2 million years into the future. Time as we know it, she's coming back. So she was a master teacher, a master coming back 2 million years to help us out. So you can imagine the consciousness there. And I'll share a little story. When she first appeared to me, she was so beautiful, and she's like 430 years old, looks 25, you know, very beautiful. And I'm jumping the gun, but I'll show you a picture of her later, or a painting of her. But, you know, I started talking to her, and I go, God, you're so beautiful. And I was just filled with love and bliss coming from her. You just melt, you know. And I go, God, you know, like, I said, what would happen if we hooked up, you know? And she goes, not going to happen. So I said, so are we like monkeys? And she said, no. She said, no. And she said, I go, what's going on? I said, I just want to know, you know, just for more of a scientific why, you know. But anyway, I want to know why. She said, you know what, the problem is our cultures are so different. She said that we've mastered jealousy, separation, we're totally telepathic, there is no loss, she said, we just don't function on the same wavelength that you're on, and she goes, you have some work to do, you know. So anyway, that was my teaching experience with that one. And you know, we have to do that. We have to learn to love unconditionally without all the fears and all the ownership and you know, that's the old program. It doesn't mean you go and screw everybody, you know, inside. That's not what it's about. It's about transcending fear and transcending limitation and things like that. That's what it's about. So when you're acting from your soul, and your soul is saying you need this experience, you need to go here, you need to go there, plugged into the spirit world. And why should they interfere with somebody else's soul evolution? You can't. You can't do that. You know, and so that's the whole bottom line. We're here for soul evolution. That's why we came to this planet. And nobody knows what another person needs in their soul for evolution. You know, a great master could be doing something really lame, you know, on this level. And you go, oh my God, I can't believe this guy is so unevolved. Well, that's probably the last little thing he needed to do before he sends into the 7th dimension, you know, or something. He had to come back and finish this one little thing. So we can't judge, you know, what another person needs to do. We can't set boundaries if it gets into our space, you know. We can't say, you know, that's fine, you know, have fun with that, if that works for you, you know. But I'm going to go over here, you know, and do your own thing. Here's the Pleiades system. When they go into these systems, a lot of times they do a jump. And they jump, you know, out of the Pleiades as we know it into a whole different system. So a lot of people go, they're blue stars, they can't, you know, life can't exist around them. Well, you're just talking our little 3D reality here. These guys are shooting up and down, you know, dimensions like 10, 9, 10. There's more than 11 dimensions out there, by the way. And this is Blajee. She's one of the Pleiadian, the Ishrisha. She's a master teacher from the Pleiades. And, you know, if you want to hook into her, go for it. You know, I share. I share my masters. No, but it's really funny. You know, you don't own. It cracks me up, these churches, they actually think they own Jesus or Mary or Buddha or Muhammad, you know. These are all universal beings, and they're there for anybody that wants to attune to them. And they're not what they've been. I mean, they've evolved, and they left their, you know, they made a lot of mistakes while they're here on Earth, and they had their lessons and challenges too, and I could go along into that a lot more, but, you know, they're different now. If you hook into Yeshua and Joseph now, the guy's got a great sense of humor. You know, take him off the cross. You know, he'll have you on your knees laughing, you know, not crying and praying and asking for forgiveness. You know, they have a great sense of humor, and, you know, they're beyond that. I always think about that, you know, on the mental planes, you know, imagination is real on the level of imagination. In the mental planes, whatever you imagine happens, right? So, you know, you have this image of Jesus on the cross suffering, like, right? And so he drops down into the mental planes, you know, oh, you know, he's going to take me off the cross, you know. So, I mean, would you hang out if people kept projecting your past on you and suffering and pain? Would you hang out with them? No, you wouldn't. You know, you'd go hang out with the people that are having fun. You know, that's what it's all about. Okay, here's one of the other energy ships appearing over the mountain. And here's one of the Orion Council of Light ships. They're huge. This was taken by Steve Marino. Okay, this is another, this is the Orion system here. And this is Melia. This is one of the contacts that I had from Orion. And wonderful being. She was the one that initiated me, and she sent a beam, just like the Mary picture, she sent a beam of gold light down and hit me in the chest. Left a big burn mark in the middle of my chest, but it was totally painless. And it morphed from a circle to a triangle to a heart and then went away. And then 3 golden balls of energy came down the beam and activated. And I had full memory of my other lifetimes and other dimensions, other planets, everything. And they're doing that now. They're activating a lot of people. So if you're meditating, you say, I want to know. What I said is, look, I'm tired of you guys flying around up here and everything. I want to know, who are you? Why am I involved with this? What's my purpose? The next thing you know, this beam comes through and hits me in the chest. And I'm on the ship, you know, on a plasma ship. And then they put me back after that. But, you know, you might get what you ask for, you know, but you have to rise to that level where you're fearless, where you don't have the fear going on. Okay, I'm going to go back here. Here's a picture of my, you know, I have people call me sometimes, you know, and they go, what are you doing? I go, oh, I'm hanging out with the buds, you know, my buds, you know. And they go, who's there? And I go, oh, yeah, they don't. I said, no, Jesus, Babaji, a few others, you know. You know, how do you explain that to people? You know, how do you talk? You know, people lock you up for those things. You know, so, and, you know, how do you explain to people? You go, you know, I was meditating the other day and my chair started lifting up and rotated a couple times, and I saw Jesus and Babaji at the top of the stairs, you know. So we've actually had that happen here with guests, and they really freaked them out. You know, but anyway, where was this in the past? Okay, look at this. Here's 2 rogue masters. You know, male and female. Look behind them, a whole flotilla. Oops. This thing's jumping. Here's Jesus being baptized. You know, look above him. You know, these are all frescoes. They're on churches all around the world. I have tons of these on the website if you want to see more of them. But I'll go through them. Here's a ship hovering over the mountain. Here's another one. Now, these are not quite physical ships, so that you see them, they're not real refined. The edges aren't real refined because when you see these ships, they're not quite physical. You know, they're just outside. Here's at the last conference, this is one of the ships that appeared right over the trees. You can see it has a little antenna on the top. It's kind of hard to see. Now here's another one, very clear. You can see this guy's very clear, but the ship, you know, is phased out a little bit. And here's the little antenna again, the little 45-degree antenna. We see this all the time here. We see this in Europe, everywhere. Spain is getting these same photographs, Mexico. Here's a wormhole, a ship actually creating its own little wormhole popping in. Here's Tom at the last, we just did a clearing before everybody got here, and look at this little laughing golden orb next to his head. This is right before everybody got here. We were doing clearing work. Here's another one. Son took this one. It's like a little elf face, you know, in the middle of these orbs. So these orbs are beings. There's actually beings. This actually looks like Mary, or some kind of a woman with a shawl on her head appearing, and that's Jadar, the wonder dog. He's got lasers coming out of his eyes, going up to the orbs. He's actually named after an Andromedan, you know, so when I got him, he's not a normal dog. I don't know who he is, but this is just recently at one of the last sky watches. You can see the orbs all coming in and playing, the streaming orbs coming in. This is wonderful. This guy goes, I really want to experience the orbs, and so he's doing his prayer and his blessing. He's asking for the orbs to come in. Boom, there they are. So, I love these. This is the last conference. Now, if you take a picture in this room, this is what's going on all around you right now. But you're not, some people are seeing it. You're seeing little flashes, and you're going, what's that? What's that? And you're trying to look at it, and you're losing it, because your cones in your eyes, the peripheral vision sees the other dimension. So you'll see flashes in your eyes, around your eyes. And when you start seeing those flashes, if you turn and take a picture, because the digital cameras pick up more of the visible light spectrum, they'll actually catch the orbs that you can't quite see. And then after your brain realizes they are real and they are there, then all of a sudden that program opens up so you can see them, which is quite a technique. And if somebody goes, I don't believe in UFOs, it's all crap, orbs are crap and everything else, you just say, as you wish, you know. And they are right for them. That's the reality they've chosen. You know, and how do you get them to change? You don't. You know, they have to choose to change. So here's another little heart at the teacher's training. Now this is doing the Kunlun practices. This is doing the initiations, where we're initiating people into the Kunlun. And it's a transfer of consciousness and energy. Here's orbs playing around with us. After you do the Kunlun, if you take your hands and go like this, and up above your head, all of a sudden you feel this incredible plasma energies, and the orbs will start playing with you. And we're doing that, and somebody took a photograph, and here's the orb just sitting in my hand. Here's one of our guests sitting in the back over there, I think, experiencing the Kunlun bliss when you transfer the energy. Now I'm going to go into the sun a little bit. There's some really interesting things happening in the sun. I know Renato covered this, but this is just recent. The sun, look at this black hole here. It's cutting the sun almost in half. And here's another photograph of it. We're in for some crazy times. And all the masters are talking about this. The Mayan calendar talked about this. I've already talked about it in all the books, but we are going to be undergoing some huge changes on every level. We're going to be going through DNA changes, physical earth changes, societal changes, economic changes, everything. It's a good thing, you know. It's really good. It needs to change. If we are going to continue, we need to change. And if we don't do it willingly, nature's going to help us out. And so, you know, we owe our body, you know, our heart is resonating at the same frequency as the earth. And this body right here is of earth. And so we're spirits down here having a vacation. We don't have the right to trash this planet like we're doing. And so we're going to get some very, very, like the Gulf oil spill and things like that, we're going to get some real big reality checks coming up here over who's in control right now and why we gave them that control. And hopefully we'll rise to the occasion and say, you know, whenever you give your power outside of yourself to somebody else, they're usually going to use that power and abuse that power and usually use it against you in the end. So, you know, this country was founded on each individual being a king or queen in their country, walking in their own sovereignty with their own personal God connection. End of story. You know, that was why we're here. And we need to step back into that, you know, in the days to come. That's the bottom line, is you are a sovereign being. You have the divine right to free will and self-authority, choosing your own reality. You have the right, but you don't have the right to destroy a planet and war on others and all these other things. Those are all written in your soul, that we know what's right. And in the heart of hearts of all humanity, you know, it's there. You know when you're screwing up. You know when you're being greedy, and you know when you're being selfish, and you know. But there are some people out there that are so removed from their souls, and they've lied and deceived so much, they have no soul connection anymore. They're just pure megalomaniacs, and those are the guys we've allowed to kind of take the reins of our destiny. So we need to take those reins back in the days to come. And that's what this is all about, because I'm sure that's why you're all here. More pictures of the sun doing its thing. Here's help. This ship is about as big as the Earth, sitting next to the sun. This is a NASA photograph. Here's the sun blowing off a sun flare. Look what the ship does. And they're filming a lot. There's a lot of new photos of these massive ships sitting around the sun. Everybody's going, what they're doing. And this is the last photo. We were speaking at the Salmon Arms, and Michal and I were there at the Salmon Arms. Whoops. Oh, we lost it. And that was plasma energy coming in. So that was kind of, I just threw that in there for people. I'm really hoping I don't lose this thing and we go, oh, it actually worked. I'm going to show you two more. At least I think I am. Maybe not. It doesn't like that one. Here we go. Okay, this is really interesting. It was Stephen took this shot. Whoops, we have two, one loading on top of the other. If I can get rid of this one. Here we go. I want you to check this out. This is right out in the field. This is some of the interdimensional things going on. You watch. I believe this one comes in from the left, and this is this pulsating beam coming in. And you know, you can use your imagination on this, but to me, I'm not going to interpret this. I'm just going to let you see it and tell me what you see. Here it's coming in on the left. Actually, be your right. I think. No, it is your left. There's a little white stick out in the middle of the field, right where it went in. I stuck a stake in the ground. I went over there and meditated after that. It was pretty powerful. Here comes another one. Going across the treetops there. the other one here, and this one goes on a lot longer. It's on the website if you want to see it. But here's the guy cruising across the treetops there. Okay, there's a couple other phases. Maybe I'll just do this one last phase. But you can see it, here it comes in. Okay, we're going to go shift from that one, and see if we can get this one to come back up. This one's take a little while to load, but how many people, what'd you see there? What do you think you saw? What's that? Giant bird? Rock? Huh?
Is that changing direction? Oh, there it goes. Wait. Come on. Light her up.
What's that? Here it is. Oh, why is it in quick time?
Come on.
Aye. Get out of here. There it was. Where is this thing? Anybody?
Oh, there he goes. I'm getting two in this. I don't know why, but if I'm filming it, I have two objects. Yeah, it's like,
A little
I
technical
don't know, just
assistance.
in what I'm seeing. And it's now went back to one. It's like,
We had to switch everything over
yeah.
because one of the cables wouldn't work, so we had to like switch computers and everything and redo everything. The last
Oh,
minute.
yeah. That little one just went right by it.
Oh, well, we'll bring it up.
Yeah, keep shooting lasers at it.
Meantime, maybe we can bring Carrie up to show the other footage. Oh, here it is. Here it is.
It is stopped.